Hey folks, Mike Motegi here, and welcome to the Friday Night View Supercars Americas Week 12, last race of the season. We're back at, I'm going to keep calling it Twin Ring Motegi, I'm sorry. Mobility Resort Motegi just doesn't roll off the tongue. So last night, I think we pretty safely put to bed our connection issues. Watch that come back to bite me later tonight. I had a car that ran okay. It was just a little tight. I went conservative because I just wanted to make sure I finished the race and didn't get knocked out for anything that I could have prevented. So tonight we bumped up the roll centers on the car, freed it up a little bit, and we're going to see what difference that makes. It's a little bit flighty on corner exit. Wow, it's really loud here. The rear end still kind of wanders around on corner exit, but I think if I could just, practice some good throttle control, it shouldn't be an issue. It really didn't cause me that much stress in practice. So, yeah, if I can keep my head on my shoulders, I think I'll be fine. What server farm are we on? Okay, so we're on the West farm, for whatever that's worth. We were on the Ohio server last night. I did practice in an Australian server for tonight. But, yeah, we'll see. We got 23? Yeah, 23 cars here tonight, so that's very cool. We had kind of a late turnout last night. We only had 15 cars. So to see 23 cars out here tonight, that's awesome. I'm car number 19. That's not awesome. But, I don't know. We'll see where we qualify and kind of go from there. Still don't have a whole lot of aspirations to tonight, but I'm hoping to do a little bit better than I did last night. 17th. I was 15th when I crossed the line, but then, other people went faster. I'm between Cam and Dale, so that's encouraging. We always run together. Andrew Ritchie's in there with us, too. So, we've had some pretty strong crowds as of late. Chris Sherburn's way the hell up in 13th. Yeah, it's all right.
You'll have to stop for more fuel before the race is over. Half the field is on the grid. Five cars left to grid.
Started on the left side of the grid last night, and I don't know. I'd still prefer to be over there.
Still waiting on two cars to grid. Green flag, green flag. Right side. Keep to the left. Still there. You got it, slow car on the right. Still there, hold your line. You're in the middle, 3 wide. Clear, 2 wide. Clear. Left side, clear. More laps, this time by. Box in 5, 3, 2, 1. Right here.
It's not bad. It's better than it was last night. I'm not fast, but I'm better.
Okay, go. The lead is pitting now. The lead is pitting now. My bad back there, Robert. Oh, good. Right, that's it, right. Good fun. Got 10 laps to go. 5 laps to go. You have about 5 laps of fuel left. Car right. Clear. Car right. Still there, hold your line. Clear on the right. 2 left to go. 2 to go.
Yeah. The Broncos bucking, man.
You've got about 2 laps of fuel. Slow car ahead. Car stop on the left. Go right. White flag this time.
That's just nice. Screen or internet? Screen. 3 times.
Left side, clear. Car right. Clear on the right. You have about 1 lap of fuel left. Slow car ahead. Slow car ahead. Go right. Go right.
Thanks,
go right. Go right. There's the flag. It's over. Bring us to the pits, we're going.
Good shit. Yeah, bad luck, Chris. My own worst enemy.
I hate that guy.
Nice work, Mark. That was pretty cool. Yeah, that was awesome, Robert. Thanks, that was awesome. No crashes, that was great. Need to work on tyre management though, good lord. You and me both. Welcome back, Mike. Good to see you got your shit sorted.
Pit box in 5, 3, 2, 1. Right here.
Hey, decent. 13th? Seriously? I got 13th out of that? Hot damn. I mean, it felt better than it did last night, but it didn't feel that good. Holy shit. Yeah, I will definitely take that. I thought I was running, like, 15th, 16th for the longest time there. Which would have been perfectly fine, too, because I started, what, 17th? 17th to 13th? Sure. Yeah, it definitely freed the car up. I don't know if it did it for the better. But the car, you could tell I could definitely at least keep up with people. Whereas last night, the guys that were behind me stayed behind me, and the guys in front of me just kind of slowly marched off into the distance. Tonight, it actually, granted, larger car count might have had something to do with that. I don't know if everybody was off playing Silksong last night or what, but yeah, tonight it felt like I could, at the very least, hang with the cars that were in front of me. And at times, if they started fighting with each other, I could catch up, and I didn't really initiate any passes, but I was in their mirrors. They knew I was there, so I'm pretty happy with that. I really wanted to finish ahead of Cam. Towards the end there, it's like, if I could just finish ahead of Cam, that'll be great. And he probably should have had me, but I just played defense as hard as I could. And I almost dialed it out. We went into that turn. I don't know what any of the corner names are at this track, and they're all probably in Japanese anyhow. The right-hander before you leave the infield and you cut under the oval for the second time. We came off of that turn, and we came off the last left-hander in the infield, and I just stayed glued to the white line on the right side. I'm like, you're not getting me on the right. He's going to have to get me on the left. And I came into that turn with the idea being I'd click the thing down into second gear and just kind of pivot it around the the curbing that they got down there, it kind of came unstuck and started to drift up the track. Well, I never heard my spotter say that Cam was next to me, so I let it slide up wide, and I don't know if I heard his tire skidding or if I saw his headlights flash past the mirror, but I came off of the corner, got my shit set up, and I looked in the mirror, and I saw him sideways, surrounded in tire smoke. So I don't think he came to a complete stop, but he definitely got out of shape. So I kind of wanted that to, as much as I wanted to stay in front, I kind of wanted that to go bumper to bumper towards the end. And then the other pass that I wanted to note was when Jay Brazier got past me. That was, I'm sorry, that'd be the first time. When I mentioned the tunnel before, that'd be the first time. This is so weird because I'm used to the pits being on the other side of the track. The second time you go under the oval track, when you go past the auxiliary pits, down the hill to the right, and on this layout, you make the right-hander. You do that short little shot underneath the through the tunnel that goes underneath the oval track, and then you make that left-hander. And what you're supposed to do when you're driving by yourself, like I'd been doing all night, was you swing way wide and you basically use like what would normally lead onto the short course, which juts off to the right. To make that left turn, you really don't even slow down at all, and you just kind of clip that inside curb. Well, I came off of that right-hander, and Jay was next to me, and we're coming up to the next turn. I'm like, well, I'm just going to have to outbrake him, completely forgetting how you enter that corner. I realized it at the very last second. It stood on the brakes, and he went shooting past me. I'm like, ooh, that could have been really bad, and I didn't realize, even at the time, I didn't even realize, what kind of a run you could get on people. But yeah, as soon as it happened, it's like, well, yeah, duh. If I'm standing on the brakes, he's basically coasting through there. So yeah, he went ripping through there in fourth gear, and I was on the brakes in second or whatever. So yeah, that almost got ugly. But yeah, he took off after that. Yeah, then it was just me and Cam, and then who got out of shape? We lost. I don't know where. Who was all involved in that tussle in front of us? Was that? I think Sherburne was one of them, wasn't he? I don't know. That's weird. I could have swore I finished ahead of Sherburne. No, I couldn't have, because he came up behind me on the cooldown lap. Who was I following? I don't know. I'm not sure the logistics of that spin that happened in front of us on the left-hander right before the auxiliary pit entrance. I saw those guys were fighting up there. Like I said, I can't even remember. I'm convinced Sherburne was one of them. But yeah, I saw them go into that turn side by side, and as soon as they disappeared off the left side of my screen, I heard my spotter say, there's a car stop up ahead on the left. I come around the corner. First of all, I come around the corner. Here's one car starting to roll, and you're technically not supposed to do that, but it was like the 3 or 4 laps to go in the last race of the season. I don't blame whoever that was. But yeah, they start rolling and across the track, so I had to duck off to the left. That's back when Porter was still right behind me. So I as soon as that situation absolved itself, I kind of looked around to see where he was. He was still like 4/10 back. But yeah, it was a good run. I still spun the tires on the start, which I think I did last night as well. And this time was weird. I spun them in second gear, which I don't think I've ever done with this car before. So yeah, I thought I had it figured out. So I just once I got out of first gear, I just stood on it, went to second, and I think as soon as it started to bite in second gear, it came loose and struck the wheels. So and I didn't really have anywhere to go with that start anyway. I started right behind Cam. Yeah, he was already checking up because he didn't have an opening in front of him, so I kind of piled into the back of him, and we followed each other through turn 1. But it was decent. But yeah, that's just it's been a weird back half of the season for me between connection issues and car handling issues, and yeah, I don't know. So we'll see what next season brings. Thanks a bunch to everyone who's been watching on YouTube, and especially a big thanks to everyone who's competed with us this season. We've had, I think I mentioned this in the in the forum thread, or was it in the forum thread, or it wasn't on Facebook? I don't know. It doesn't matter. We've been getting pretty consistent 15 to 20, sometimes even more car counts week in, week out. We've been doing really good this season, and this is the season heading into Bathurst. I don't know if people are starting to ramp up for that or what the deal is there. But yeah, just to see the consistent participation numbers like week in, week out, and for both nights is really cool. So yeah, we're heading into Bathurst next season, and that always gets huge. So yeah, I'm expecting to see some pretty big grids, maybe even a few splits going to the start of next season, and that has everything to do with people that just want to race these cars. I mean, we're not like a big promoted series. I don't do trophies. I don't do payouts. I'm cheap that way. There's no incentive to run in the series other than the fact that you enjoy it. So, like I said, the fact that we've got a dozen, 2 dozen cars racing with us 2 nights a week, every week for 12 weeks straight, and then basically all year around. Yeah, it really speaks volumes about the history of this series, and I'm not gonna say grown, because I feel like we've always just kind of floated around this level. Steady, slight tick up, but we've always kind of floated around that kind of 12, 15, 20 car count level. And that's just awesome to see. And it's not... We have our, group of, regular drivers. Like, I'm looking at the driver lineup right now. A lot of these names I recognize. Rehan, James, Peter Vanderberg's been racing with us a bunch lately. Paul Young's been around with us for a while. Roy Clark, Jay, Cam, Chris, Dale, Andrew. All of the other names on this list, the James Scott, I think, might have raced with us a couple times. Emily Jones is a name I don't recognize. Andrew Dutch might have raced with us last night and a couple other times. I don't know. Damon Mulqueen, don't recognize that name. Ryan Whitlock, don't really recognize that name. Mark Allen, I don't know. Robert Baxter, Alex Moss, that might actually be an iRacing staffer. Scott Weston, Mason, Laverne. If you raced with me before, thank you very much. If you raced with us before, I should say, me. I'm not that kind of guy. If you've raced with us before, I'm sorry I don't recognize your name. I see a lot of names. But just the fact that, we have our set group of guys that race with us week in and week out, and then we also get, just this assortment of randoms every week. It's just really cool. That's one of the things that's turned me away from leagues. I mean, leagues are cool and all, but you end up racing the same guys every single week, and pretty soon you all figure out how fast you are. I think what's cool about the way that we do things is that the door is always open for anyone with, the content and the license, which honestly isn't that big of a deal, to show up and race with us. And just to constantly get, different names and new people and new cars into the mix, I think is one of the best things about this series. It's why I think it's a big part of the reason why people keep coming back to it, because you're bound to recognize some names, but there's also some people that you never raced with before, and hey, who knows? You might have a really good, head-to-head battle with them all race long. It's happened to me before. So, yeah, it's really cool. And just to see the participation in this series stay as steady as it's been is awesome. And, yeah, like I said, I only see it getting bigger next season, especially around Bathurst time. So, thank you so much for racing with us. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Take it easy. Have a good one.